All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Girl Activate podcast, where we drop inspirational gems that you can apply to your daily life that will help you to awaken the greatness within. The Girl Activate community is also for the girlies that not only want to level up in their business, you guys also want to level up in your life. All right. So, on this episode today, we'll be talking about a topic that seems to be buzzing a lot lately in the entrepreneur and leadership arena, and that is imposter syndrome. We are being called to step up to higher roles, and guess what? We are shrinking. We are not accepting this. And that is so sad because we need to step up and do what God has called us to do. So today's guest is my friend. She is no stranger to the Girl Activate podcast. She is no stranger to the community. She is a confidence coach. She's a body image coach, and she is going to tell us how we could unleash our confidence and crush imposter syndrome for good. Okay. So welcome back, Tricia. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for making time in your busy schedule to be with us here tonight. Thank you.
You have a YouTuber that says so ready to learn. Welcome, Sai.
Really? You see what I'm saying? This is what I need to check this out. I need to check it out. All right. But let's just jump right into it. Where did all your confidence come from?
Oh wow, my confidence really came from God, to be honest with you. I was broken, I was fat shamed, I was taught down to, and all of that. Well, mark you, my parents did tell me, you're beautiful and all of that. But I feel like my mom was a little broken too because she came from being not with her real mom. Her mom died when she was in child's birth. So my mom didn't know her real mom. So my mom was passed around in the family. My grandfather remarried after my real grandmother died. So there was a little struggle there from my mom. So my mom, kind of passed certain things down to me at an early age where you kind of feel like, oh, I don't trust people. I got to look behind my back. People are not loving me for me. And it caused me to have fake confidence. And this is why I'm so passionate about helping women to build unshakable, unstoppable, truthful confidence that comes from, of course, God, and comes from knowing who you really are and why you're here and what your destiny is and what your purpose is. So that's really what happened with me. Yeah.
So
I mean,
you've always had this confidence. It was kind of instilled in you from
well,
child.
not later on when my mom died is when I had to really jump into my real confidence. What I'm saying, I was always confident, but it was a fake confidence.
Oh, you said fake
Fake.
confidence. I thought you said faith
No,
confidence.
no,
So
no. Fake,
what is fake confidence?
fake confidence is it's like kind of like an imposter thing, like what we're talking about tonight. It's where you're like, yeah, oh yeah, I think I love my body, but do I really love my body? I think I love my hair, but do I really like behind closed doors? I'm like, oh, it's not pretty, my skin is not right. But to the world, you're like, yeah. People ask how you're feeling. I'm great. I'm on, like all
Mm.
this fake stuff. And until something traumatic happens in your life and you really see what life is really about, well, that's what happened for me. When my mom died, when I went through a tumultuous breakup, and I had to go through healing, and I really had to learn who I was from the inside, not from the flesh, not from your skin is this way, your teeth, your hair, all this imperfection, physicality type of thing. You dig deeper, and then you're like, oh, well, that's what real confidence is. It's being authentic, it's having the knowledge of who you are, your destiny, your purpose. And then that's when the magic starts to happen. So ever wonder, like, of course, maybe you want to start a business, maybe you just got divorced, maybe you're in a marriage and things are not working out, or you want to go back to school, or you're doing well, maybe you have a great job and you're paying a lot, it's paying you a lot of money, but you know that there's something missing, right? Something is missing from your life. What's missing is that true confidence, because number one, you don't really know who you are. You're comparing yourself, right? And that's a big deal right now, with this day and age where we live with all the technology, the social media, the podcast, all of this. You'll sit and you'll be like, oh, maybe I need to be like Stacy. Maybe I need to be like Trisha. She has a PhD. She da da da. She's super talented. And we get so like bottled down and compare ourselves, and then we get into something called visibility block. So, I'll talk more about that too. But that's really it. It can really let women hide, and a lot of people hide, because they're really not showing who they really are, and it's sad and it's detrimental.
Yeah. So you had that kind of a traumatic experience, two different traumatic experience. So how did you know when the real confidence started to peek through, right? So you had that pivotal moment, you had that traumatic experience, but how did you know it was real? I mean, you had been faking it so long. So how did you come about the realness? Was there a moment where you were like, you know what?
Yeah.
This
So
is this is it.
yeah, so after my breakup, because I was in a relationship for like 10 years and thought I was going to get married and all this stuff, got cheated on, all this stuff. So when you have fake confidence, you are not in the moment. You're never in the moment. You're always like, okay, what's next? What I got to do? Because it's like you have a protection around you. So
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of like not feeling the true feelings that you're supposed to feel. So after I did the breakup, I went and of course I hired a coach, definitely a dating coach. I
Mm.
hired a abundance coach. Like, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't really pinpoint what it was. Because let's face it, every breakup you have to learn from what it is. We're not gonna say it's mistakes, right?
No, but every perceived failure, there's always going to be some kind of lesson in it. I mean, for those who are aware, you could take that negative experience and just kind of stay there, or you
Mhm.
can take that negative experience and have that learning moment that you're talking about.
Right. So I started learning things that I never knew, and that's when I got the aha moment. Like, girl, you weren't who you say you were.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time, I was portraying this confident plus size woman, and I was a model, but I was never. If someone had asked me like, "What do you do for a living?" I would say, "Oh, I'm a plus size model."
Yes,
I
that
would never.
that that's the
It's
thing.
like an undertone. Like, I would never
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I am a plus size model." I represent now. When people ask me, I'm a plus size model. I represent plus size women. I represent women from all over the world. I'm so excited about helping women. I'm so passionate. Back then, I'd be like, I'm a plus size model. Like, my mouth could not even open.
I
And
was just talking to somebody about that yesterday or today, and it's just like, so networking is such a big thing to be
Mhm.
able to go into the room with like-minded individuals, or just the supermarket, or a plane ride, right? If
Yeah,
somebody goes, hey, I mean, many times people, depending on how you dress or how you appear, people will say, hey, what do you do?
yeah,
And you just like, what
yeah.
do I do? You never have that thing to say.
Yes, so that was the fake confidence, and it's just not owning who you are, right? And it's
Mhm.
like, again, living that lie and all that stuff. So after the breakup, started healing, started learning different routines. So this is why it's so important for women and men to get coaching. And I always say, like, Michael Jordan is not great because of his talent alone, right?
Mhm, mhm.
You have to like get help. You have to learn new things and develop new routines and all this stuff. That's gonna help serve you. So I was like, aha moment. That's what I did. Hire all those people. Then in the midst of that, my mom dies. My mom was diagnosed with colon cancer, and within a year, she's dead.
Wow.
Right. And I'm like, this cannot be it.
Mhm.
it just you live and you die and that's it. So I really had to dig deep. And being a child who was I got bullied for my weight, I got fat shamed, and I was like, this is not it. I mean, once you're healed, that's amazing, but you could die, and that's the end of you. So you have to be authentically you now. You can't care what people have to say about you. You got to be literally you. And that's really how I gain my confidence. And of course, God, yeah, God confidence. I added
Yeah.
that to it. So yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. So, what made you want to now turn around and help women to have that transformation?
So during all my years of modeling, of course, I was Oprah Winfrey standing and all that stuff. And during the years of modeling, I would do like bridal.
Let's not, glaze over that, glaze over that. Did you guys
Right.
hear what she just said? She was Oprah, was or still are?
Well, I still am. We just don't shoot the magazine covers as we used to until
Yeah.
they call me and say, "Oh, you're fired." I mean, I don't know, but yeah, we still, yeah, I'm still known as her standing model, of course. So working with Lady O, I call her Lady O, and she has the ultimate confidence, and it's definitely not fake confidence because I've seen her in the flesh, in real life, on off camera and on camera. And whosoever she is on camera, she is that off camera. And that takes true authenticity, true brand marketing, building all of that. Because she's one of the best in the world of being her authentic self. If she's lying, she's a really good actress. That's all I gotta say. But but she is who she appears to be on and
Mhm.
off the camera. So learning from her and just traveling all over the world, like I've modeled in Paris, in Jamaica, in Africa, South Africa, all over the world. Women would always ask me, "Oh my God, how can you teach me to, be this confident?" Because I feel most confident in a swimsuit where a lot of alarms go off for a lot of women because they're so caught up in our bodies.
Mhm.
So I was raised on the beach, so I think that's why I'm comfortable in a swimsuit. Plus, my confidence is I build up my confidence over the years. So yeah, that's really it in a nutshell.
Wow,
Hmm.
wow, wow. So now you are coaching women through this transformation. What would you say is the biggest challenge or obstacle you've seen in the ladies in developing this kind of un this unleashed confidence,
Yes,
like this
that's
next
a good.
level? What do you
A lot of women feel like they're not worthy. And I'm so sorry to say that, but it's so true. I coach women all the time. And even on, I go through something first with you called a breakthrough call. And I sit and I listen. Okay, you want to become a model, probably, or you want to become a lawyer, you want to be married, what are your goals, right? But you don't want to change anything to get there.
Mhm.
Life is not cookie cutter. Sometimes we have, not sometimes, most of the time, we have to work a little bit on achieving the things that we want, right, Stacey? I mean, you're adding to your brand. You want to get your platform on a certain level. You have to add and implement certain things, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of women, I feel like they're not worthy. They're not worthy. They feel like, oh, I'm not worthy to be driving in a yacht or have a man treat me like a queen.
What
And
does that sound like? How do you identify it? What is like some of the things that they say?
oh yeah, but I want that. But like,
But
when it comes down to, okay, you have to pay. It's a gift for yourself. A lot of us, I always say, we're there for everybody else. We're there for our husbands, we're there for our kids, we're there for our parents, we're there for everybody. And when it comes to you, in the back of your mind what you want. But when it's time for you to say, okay, let me buckle down, let me get this help, let me cherish myself and know that I'm worthy, they don't want to do it.
yeah. You
Yeah.
think that that's the imposter syndrome or What is that?
Yeah,
Where
I
does
think
that even
again,
come from?
it's feeling unworthy and feeling like you're not enough, right? And I'm a recovering one of that too, where you feel like you're not enough, and it comes with the imposter syndrome, and both with just feeling like I'm not worthy. Nobody wants to hear me. Nobody wants to see me. Everybody in this world wants to be seen and heard,
Yeah.
especially women. We want to be noticed. We want to be seen. Ever walk down the street? Maybe you're a woman of a certain age and you're walking down the street, and even if it doesn't matter the type of guy, but he just said, "Oh, babe, hi." You're in the back of your mind. You're like, "Whoa, I still got it." You know? You're like, I still got my vavavoom, right?
Yeah.
So we all want that.
Some people won't admit that. And it's funny you say that because Aisha Curry, I think that's her name. Steph Curry's wife, the NBA player, she
Mhm.
made a comment very loosely on Red Table Talk a few years ago
Okay.
that she wants to know that she still got it. And honey, they dragged her over the internet for saying that because it's like you have the perfect marriage, you have the perfect family, you got the perfect all-star husband, and here you are. And to me, it was like a joke, but she's just kind of like, yeah,
Of course.
acting like I think it was she was acting like she was taking off her ring because somebody was around. But that's just like girl talk. That's how we joke with each other. But honey, they dragged her for doing that. I think that women wouldn't always admit that. You know what? If you get a little stare, they're just like she wants the attention just so she could turn them down. But they would never admit that that little bit of attention sometimes it's
Mhm.
just like it gives you the like, all right, I still
Right.
got it. I
Right.
still
So
got it.
yeah, definitely. So I am a coach of solutions and tips, right? So I'm gonna give tips. So one of my number one tip that I want to give the ladies tonight and the men who are on here, number one is to get rid of the imposter crushing. The imposter syndrome is to get into your feminine energy, and that's a part of our birthright. We are woman, meaning our womb is open. We are creators of life. We are creators of love. We're made to love, right? But a lot of us, because of course, we know how society is. I'm busy. I'm a career woman. Oh, I don't think I could go to the spa. What if you just said, yeah, I want to spend the whole day at a spa. I want to get my feet massage and just feel like a woman. I want to just lay on the sand all day and just talk, just be like really feminine and not care about anything. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So that's number one. You are a woman. You're not a man. Okay, I'm speaking from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman and I went through this too. And sometimes when we live in big cities, this happens to us where we are moving in our masculine energy. And I in my coaching too, I teach this feminine energy too. And you can be a businesswoman, you can be a boss, you could do all of that and still be in your feminine energy.
It's
It's
funny
not.
that you say that because something just triggered something in me. You're saying that, especially in the workplace, because I think that that's a little bit of this where that connection is with the imposter syndrome. So now women feel like they have to we can go deep with this, but women feel like they have to take on this masculine energy to be taken seriously in the workplace. So therefore, what you just like you said, you're not your authentic self. You're not your real self. You have to step into this mask of a masculine energy to be accepted in the workplace. So again, just assuming a role that's not you, that's not the authentic you, not knowing that if you fully embrace this feminine energy, that you have more power to command your room and your environment.
Yes. So you have another person on YouTube. Her name is Jessica Tucker. Hello, Jessica.
Hey.
So to your point with saying that, and this is tip number one now, I actually coach a parliament, a woman who was in the Jamaican parliament. And that is exactly what she was going through. She had imposter syndrome because just as you said, she was trained to be in that male dominating, to work with the men, because in parliament is mostly men. But what was happening with her, even though she was talking louder, talking with her hand and standing up straight and wearing her suit, her power suits and all of this, they were still not respecting her.
Mm.
Because that, again, ladies, that's not our character, that's not who we are. Listen, I always tell my clients, especially the ones who are dating and they want to get married again and all this stuff, or get married, is that if a man wanted to be around another man, he would, right? And I know this is about career, so I had some exercises that I can't let out everything out of the bag. But by the time she started doing this, she had the men eating out of her hand. They
Wow.
were glued to their seats because her problem was they were not connecting with her. They were not taking her seriously. No matter how she tried to be as professional as what society says we're supposed to do, wearing the suits, talking with a heavier tone voice and talking loud, and all these charts and all this stuff. I literally had to teach her how to even walk in a room, how to walk in a room in her feminine energy. And I'm not saying you're gonna be all girly and you're like ooh la la like Marilyn Monroe. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
talking
I
about.
think that's a fear for a lot of women, that feminine energy is a weak energy.
No,
But if
it's
they show up with that, then they're the damsel in distress and they want to be seen powerfully.
right. So that's a number one way how to get rid, crush that imposter syndrome, because you're a woman and you're going and acting like in male energy. So that's being an imposter right there. You're never comfortable. You're never being creative. As women, we're creative beings, right? So you have a business, maybe, you do here, you're a makeup artist, you want to build your brand, and you're feeling like everything is a but. I remember being in college and our professor would be saying, oh, does anybody have anything to say? All the girls would like lay back and kind of like look at each other and like compare, and nobody says anything. But when you're in your feminine energy, you lean back, you relax, and you feel things from your heart and from your womb, right? So that's gonna take you away from being an imposter, because you're like, this is real. This is how I'm feeling. Feminine energy is about how you're feeling, not really what you're thinking, right? So that's really the first thing I want to get across to your audience.
Okay, okay. So here in the Girl Activate community, the girlies are all about taking their business to the next level and
Yeah.
also taking their life to the next level, because you can't do well in business if you're not doing well in life. And you can't do well in life if you're not running your business or your career or, what have you.
Mhm.
So I wanted to know, with your experience, so you had your traumatic experience, you went from fake confidence to real confidence, and you're like, oh, I got to show women how to do this. So what was like that first step? How did you know that it was a business, right? Like, how did you know it could be a business? And then what was your first steps to actually start the business?
Right. So I believe in having amazing mentors and coaches. So one of my coaches, she was a business coach, and she was telling me, Tricia, you're amazing at what you're doing. You inspire so many women. Why don't you just turn it into, like, of course, we don't want to say business, but mentor. It's into coaching business. And I remember, because I during a couple of years way back before I started coaching professionally, I was a pose coach, and I would
I
teach.
think I remember that.
Yes, I teach women how to pose and all of that. And we would have one-on-ones after class sometimes. And I'm like, I'm really loving this. I'm really passionate about having women feel better about their minds, their body, their purpose, all of that. So I was like, I'm just gonna, when the pandemic started, at the top of the pandemic, I was like, all right, I was home a little more, and just reaching out to people and people reaching out to me. And I was like, all right, I'll do some coaching, and that's kind of how it started. And
Mhm.
it's been so rewarding, when a woman again finds her worthiness and just knows that she's enough and she's deserving, and
Mhm.
really takes the time and work on herself to get rid of all these negative things that can surround us, anxiety, fear, comparing yourself, unforgiveness, all these negative emotions. Because a lot of us, we travel with those negative emotions every day. And to
Yes.
get rid of it, you need help. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's this is why I do what I do.
So
Yes.
now in the beginning phase of your business, all right, so coaching is one of those things where um, you are helping people through their limiting beliefs or their mind blocks or whatever negative emotions that they have so that they can achieve their goal, right?
Yes.
You knew that you had the experience. You knew that you had the results. You had it for yourself and you've gotten them for your clients. Was there ever a time that you had, well, by this time you didn't have imposter syndrome anymore, but it's not something that goes away. I'm just curious,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
with coaching,
I
did
could
you
give you
feel
a
like,
story with that. Oh,
did you ever
sure.
feel like, who am I
Oh,
to
yeah.
teach somebody this? So tell us about what that beginning stage was in your business to like get your first
Sure.
couple of clients. Like, what
Sure.
was that feeling like?
Feeling like, right. So, wow. So the first, when I set up my business like online, I started running ads and all that stuff. I have a Facebook group, of course, Hello Confidence Queens, Facebook group and all of that. So again, you have to get mentoring and you have to get some coaching, business coaching also to really help you push away and crush the imposter syndrome, because you're going to feel it every day. So even though I was a model, I still had something called visibility blocks, meaning when my coach said, okay, you got to get in front of the camera, you got to do a 30-day video challenge, meaning you have to turn on your phone camera or whatever you're doing and make a quick video and push it out, whether Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. And I was like, who, me? I'm
Mhm.
not doing that. What am I going to say every day? So that was a part of a new imposter syndrome, and back then I didn't know what it was. But and then I'm like,
So
they
it showed up for you. It showed up for you. How did it show up for you? They ask you to do this challenge, this exercise to push you past your limit,
yeah.
right? And what was the feeling? What was the voice? What was the voice saying?
Nobody, number one, nobody's gonna want to hear what you have to say. What makes you an expert? That's number two. Like, what are people gonna say? You're known as a model. You're not known as a coach. That was the biggest one for me. And I
Wow.
want to tell your audience tonight also. Don't let anyone put you in a box, right? Don't ever do that, because again, we're creative women. We can do a couple of things. So that was one of the number one things for me, where I was like, they're not gonna believe in me. They're gonna be like, oh, she's after people's money. Why is she doing this? Like, you hear all the negative talk in your ears. I call
So
it
let's just
Satan
pause
speaking.
there for a second because what's crazy is that it's almost like we were given a script to these negative emotions because I'm sure when I talk to my clients, when you talk to your clients, even when we experience it, it's literally the same script that we're saying. Who am I to be this person? Who am I to be here? Who cares? Who's going to listen? Who's going to pay me? It's almost like a script that we, no matter what industry you're in, it's
Yeah.
the same conversation that we're having. But
Yeah.
what I like about you, I think I'm making the connection now, is that you got coaching early on. You got mentoring early on. So you had the voice, you probably had those challenges, but you were able to navigate them a little easier, I
Yeah,
guess.
because I had coaching. So coaching is something where you're confused about something, right? So this is why a lot of people want to do certain things in life, but their life goes around in circles because you're talking to the gardener and you want about business and you want to be a top boss. You want to be making millions and you're talking to the gardener. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? A gardener is not equipped
But
to
that's what we do. That's what we do. So
right.
basically, the gardener could be your sister, your cousin, your friend, your client. It could be anybody,
No.
any warm body that's going to listen to you and give you some advice
And agree with you.
and agree with you. That's what we want.
I agree with you, right? So that's what I had to learn early on because I'm a people pleaser. I don't like to create fuss. I don't like to create confusion. So when I had my coach, it was like, oh, what? I have to do what to reach that point, or I have to learn this new thing. I did not want to change. So that's another thing. You have to be able to be coachable to really reach where you really want to reach. It's so funny. But I kind of wanted to tell you this quick story. So when I was in school, I remember back in Jamaica when I entered Miss Jamaica, I got fat shamed and I was like 13 years old and I couldn't understand it. But again, the imposter syndrome, I was like, I'm gonna lose this weight because I did not acknowledge my body at that time. I mean, I'm 13 years old. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So just that to say to ladies that watch out for trying to be somebody else because at that point I almost died. I fainted. I wasn't eating for like a whole month because I tried to lose weight. I tried to be
To
what
fit the mold, to fit the character.
there you go, to fit into that Miss Jamaica beautiful so-called standards of beauty back then. I think I was like a size 12 and the other girls were like size 4 to maybe a small size 8. So in my little brain, my imposter brain, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds and I'm gonna be a size 8 in the next month.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
I almost lost my life.
Wow.
Right. So it's very important to change these thinking and to change your mindset. Because if you don't, you could literally die. And your life could definitely, like you're dating a guy and you know what your principles are, you know what you want for your life, and he's swinging you this other way and you have no boundaries, right? That's another form of imposter syndrome because you're being a woman who you're not really. Again,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah,
it shows up in so many
it
different ways
does.
in our lives, and it really can hurt you, and it can cause your life to just like come to a halt.
I wanted to talk about also how the imposter syndrome shows up. We've given some real life examples and and you've shared some of your stories and your client stories. And I just wanted to go a little bit deeper into how it might be showing up. And I feel like there's two ways that I've seen it kind of show up.
Mhm.
The first way, well, I would say it has showed up for me. The first way is you're called to a role, you're called to a position. Let's say you got an opportunity, or you're trying to start something new for yourself, and you are qualified. It's not like you're not qualified. You have the certificates, you have the degrees, you have the sweat equity, you have the results. And for some reason, when it comes time to put yourself out there, you don't even believe in your own credentials. You're
Mhm.
just like, you're just blowing off the fact that you had this experience. You're blowing off the fact that I was talking to somebody about this. You've been on TV, you've been around the world, you've been in magazines, you work with celebrities, you're presenting on stages for thousands of people and millions of people. And then when it comes time to put your resume or put the title on yourself, you're just like, that's not me. So it's
Mhm.
almost like you don't even believe yourself. That's that imposter syndrome, right? You
Yeah.
don't even believe you can do what you're
Right.
called to do, and you've already done it. And
Mhm.
that one I experience all the time. That's mine.
Okay.
Okay. The other one that I've seen
Mm.
is you're called to the role, you got the opportunity, or you want to start something new, and
Mhm.
you think that people are not going to see you as who it is that you are. So you have to show up in that other way. So I feel like there's like, I've seen it show up in these two different ways. I just wanted to give like a different angle. You
Mhm.
got the opportunity and you don't believe yourself. That's how it shows up for me with my extensive resume. But
Mhm.
then you don't think you it's almost like you think they're going to find out that you're not who you say you are.
Yes.
That's the other one, right? So you
Right.
got the job, you've been promoted to manager, you
Mhm.
become the owner, you become the entrepreneur, you become the coach, you put, especially now that you're putting yourself out there on social media, somebody's going to come and blow up my spot. They're going
Yeah.
to say, you're not the real deal. You're not authentic, especially if you're in a position. I see this a lot
Mhm.
as hairstylists, makeup artists, models, photographers, artists, graphic designers, anybody in the creative space, sometimes we get shortcuts in the line.
Yeah.
So we get in places where we don't need a degree. We get in
Ooh.
places where we don't need a certification. We get in places where we don't necessarily need the most experience because we're in the right place at the right time. We have the right personality. We have the right skill. We just have we have timing and personality and skill.
Mhm.
We have the what I call the package.
Mhm.
Bypass the person with the PhD. You bypass the person with the master's. You bypass the person with 25 years of experience. I've
Mhm.
experienced this. I've cut the line so many times, and it's just like they're going to find out that I don't have the 25 years. They're going
What?
to find out I don't
What
have
are
the
we
degree.
gonna find out? No. What? So again, when I talked about, going through the fake confidence, when you get that real confidence, that doesn't even bother you, because my main thing, that aha moment that I had learned was, again, it's all based in God. Whatever is for you is for you. It doesn't matter how many years. It doesn't matter where you're from. It does, if that's your purpose, that's your destiny, that's your talent. No one can stop you. Only yourself.
Hmm.
And that's that stinking thinking, that, oh, who's gonna listen to me? Who, they're gonna find out, and all of that. So I remember one of my biggest campaigns that I worked on, and actually, it was not too long ago. I just did Virgin Voyages on
I
one of
saw
the
that. Congratulations. I was so happy. Let me tell you, I'm always so happy when I see you online. I'm like, let me not seem like I'm obsessed with her. I love your videos. I love when you share your experiences. They're so inspirational and inspiring.
Thank you. So, as I always wanted to, because I love to travel. You know this about me, and I'm like, I always wanted to do like a commercial or something for a travel brand. And when I got it, the last shoot that we did was actually in Athens in Greece. They flew us to Greece and all this amazing stuff. And I'm on a plane and I'm like the stinking thinking comes up. And I'm like, oh, girl, what if you get there and you don't even know how to pose? They run you off set. You don't even know what you're doing. Like they don't like the pictures, because
That's the part that creeps up.
yes, because these productions are big. Like, the director, the photographers there, once they clip the camera, they see everything on set right on their computer screen. So I'm like, oh my God, they're not gonna like the pictures, they're not gonna want to use it. Da, 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 So in order for you to get rid of that, I know it's cliche, but I'm gonna go back to this. You have to say your daily affirmations, people. We have to you have to speak life into yourself, because the world is so bombarded with the negative, the negative, the negative, the comparing, the comparing, the comparing. You have to say those affirmations, and I'll give you some soon. But for I remember, when I went into that stinking thinking on that plane going to Greece, I of course remembered one of my affirmations that I always said: I will always get paid to travel. And I remembered it, and I said it 3 times, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting paid to travel, and I'm going to Greece, and I'm going on a cruise. Like, everything just started. Those nice, yummy feelings came back. I wasn't questioning myself. And I was like, you're a model for 20 years. You know what you're doing. So there's no reason to be scared. There's no reason, it's going to be safe. So another story I want to tell you also about, as women, the monetary part of this, because I know a lot of us go through this. And you were saying that, a lot of artists, maybe you don't have a PhD, you don't have all the, because I have a lot of friends with a big, and that was one of the things that I had to deal with. So when I became a coach, I had one person in particular, when when I started first pushing out that I'm a professional coach, she was like, you went to school for that? I literally told her, yeah, I went to 20 years of school for that, because I've been a model. So yeah, modeling is all about confidence and all that stuff. So literally, yeah. But you will have people who will come for you, right? And even my first client, because my coaching one-on-one is a high ticket. I have high ticket and low ticket. So the first time I actually sold one of my high tickets, I was like, imposter syndrome. What am I gonna coach her? Not remembering that I've coached so many women already and
Ah,
all of that, but the money factor get into it, right? Because
oh
my
my gosh, you're so right.
high ticket program,
Because they have expectations for that money.
yeah,
When it's
it's
free,
two,
it's one thing, but
yeah,
when you gotta pay, you
yeah,
gotta meet their expectations.
right. It's 2,500. That's my high ticket program. And it's a 90-day program. And I'm like, when I sold my first one, I was like literally, I was like out of breath. I was like, oh my God, like, okay, when is she starting? Like, what if she doesn't like think she's like getting her money's worth? Like, I went into a panic attack. And that was just the imposter syndrome again, telling you that you're not qualified and all of that. So you have to really get back into the affirmations. And I believe in prayer. Because God, the enemy will tell you anything, just tell you lies. You're not deserving. Who the hell are you to wanna, sell your knowledge? You're a genius. There's nobody like you. You have been on all these different sets. That's where I met you. You have all this gem of a knowledge and all this stuff to share. Of course, you're supposed to get compensated for it.
Mhm.
Why not? Right? So for me, I had to really work myself up to that ladder. And then you also touch on something else, which is procrastination. I remember when I started my program, and you have to write about yourself and all of that. And that's one thing I love, that I had a coach, because if not, we had something called, because I did a coaching program, like, to become a coach. We had something called, you have to do something called about me page.
Mhm.
Oh my God. So many, me included, and a lot of your other ladies that were in my class, they gave us 2 weeks to write about it, and so many of us got stuck. And again, we procrastinate. We don't want to write about ourselves, because you don't want to seem like you're pompous and you're
Right,
talking
right.
stuff. So I nowadays, I am just happy to talk about myself humbly. There's a
Mhm.
way how you can do it. You don't have to be pompous and all this stuff, but it's important. Because if not, your business is not going to grow, and people are not going to connect with you, because people are into authenticity. People want to know who you really are, what you have been through, what you have overcome, how they're going to learn from you. Why are they hiring you as a coach, right? So you just have to understand all of that, and go with it.
Yeah. And this imposter syndrome, it's like a mask that you put on to protect yourself, thinking it's going to advance you. But
So,
what happens is it is has almost the opposite. It turns around and it backfires on you.
yeah,
And as far as the money is concerned, the more we talk about this, the more it makes me upset a little bit, because the struggling artists, when you hear struggling artists, right? Why is the artist struggling? Because they have created this masterpiece, this work of art, their baby that they hold so near and dear to them. But when it comes time, because, and they're so natural, right? It's a God talent. So
Yeah.
when it comes time to put a price tag on this art, on their talent, on their service, this is where all of the complications come into play, because it's like, this is my gift, this is my art. How
Mhm.
can I charge for this? And if
Mhm.
I charge for this, then it's going to take away from the authenticity of the product or of the art itself. So this
Mhm.
this let me tell you, this mask is getting in the way, and we have to start to learn how to shake it off. That's why I'm so glad that you were able to come on tonight and be so transparent. Thank you so much for your transparency and your vulnerability, because you see, I'm digging. I want to pull out those stories, I want to pull out those experiences, because one thing with us, from the day I met you and from the day people meet me, we have a confidence about us. No
Yes.
matter what you do, you
Mhm.
think you could put on a baseball cap, you think you could not wear makeup, you think you could just hide it. You
Yeah.
think you are hiding it. But when people see us, they see confidence.
Yeah.
And
Because everything is energy,
no matter how
energy.
much I say, no, 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 I still suffer from this, I still suffer from that. They don't
Mhm.
care about that, because what they see is a confident person. And guess what? That's our essence. That's
Yeah.
our essence that we cannot even hide. But the reason why I wanted to go a little bit deeper and, and share more of that vulnerability is because people see us and
Mhm.
think that we don't have these experiences, and it's so easy. And I look at the people that I look up to in business that are where I want to be, and
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like, are they always happy? Do they have a bad day? How are they getting over, procrastination or worry or fear? What are they doing to get over that? So I just wanted to take this time and this platform to say, hey, you may resonate with us for so many reasons. You're a
Mhm.
woman, you're Caribbean, you have a certain descent, you're in a certain career, a certain industry. We have certain interests in common. But here's the real deal, it doesn't go away. People need to hear that fear does not go away.
No, it does not. So I
Um,
mean, working with Oprah, I
mhm,
knew that God had put me with Oprah for a certain reason. Even though she make all the money, she is who she is. She did have a complex still with her weight, right? And me going in there at that time when I started working with Oprah, I was truly confident. I had my coaching, and I knew who I was when I was working with her, and I knew God sent me there with her to help her to be more confident in her own body. And that was my purpose with her.
that's
Right?
so nice. That's so beautiful. That is beautiful, because you never know, right? She's on this level, and you could have easily had the imposter syndrome and say, what can I offer her? What can I offer her? But
Mhm.
just your presence and your confidence in your own body, she have needed to see that to embrace where she was in her life at that moment. You
Yes,
know?
most definitely. So I
That is
know
crazy.
that was something also. You saw Tia says, my problem is I am so horrible with every
Humble, humble.
humble. Oh yeah, humble with every aspect of my life. And I need to, you have it. You should read it.
Yeah. Go ahead,
I
go ahead, go ahead.
across as cocky. Yes, we all go through that. Yeah, when I am good at something. Yeah. But what I say to that is, Saltia, is to let your work speak for itself. Stacy could tell you, we know each other for a long time now, and I just post my work. I sometimes I don't really talk about certain things because people don't even read sometimes. I just posted something about Greece where I was saying I'm thankful that I've been there, and somebody thought I'm there now. Like, so a lot of people don't really
Right,
read.
right, right.
So you just show your work humbly, and they'll get it. Believe you, they might not look like they're watching, but they're watching. Yeah.
Jessica says, I think I told Stacy this, but I started buying in faith kits to put all my traveling hair products
Ooh,
and makeup, and then started getting business not long after. So I think if I'm translating this correctly, the faith kit is basically when you go shopping for your ideal customer. So basically, before I became a celebrity hairstylist, I went shopping as if I was buying the outfit to work with that celebrity. So you can do that also for your kids. So I
yeah.
know the celebrity likes a certain cosmetic line, or I want to use high end brushes, or I want to have a nice traveling case. So you buy the kit before you even start the business. And
Oh
then
yeah.
literally the customers start rolling in. It's just like I see people buying a case for their keys for the or
Mhm.
keychain for the car that they eventually want
Yeah.
to buy. So it's kind of like that, using your imagination, using visualization
Hmm.
um, to get those things that you want into your life, right? To be able to take action, you
Hmm.
know.
So
But
I know I gave you guys like two tips so far. The other one was the affirmations, and number three, that's just as you're talking about. Um, this topic is believing in you, of course, who you are, and I follow Neville Goddard, right?
mhm,
Um, he believes in living in the future, and I do that a lot. Like I live my life like that a lot without worrying and all of that. So say you see your business being a multi-million dollar business, you're gonna think about all the women you're gonna serve, all the people you're gonna hire, how good it's gonna feel. You have like that 20 million in the bank, you could do anything you want, all that stuff. So you're living in the future already. I know it's crazy, but try it. Just try it this week. Maybe you're like, okay, today I'm receiving a check for like 20,000. The next day I'm receiving a check for 500,000. What would you do with that money? And just act like you have that money already, because our conscious mind and our subconscious does not know the difference, right? If you have the money, you don't have the money, or what. But it's really helping you to crush the imposter syndrome. I know it feels like it's reversed, because we're thinking imposter, so it's something that you don't have. But if it's in alignment with you, you're supposed to have that. It's our birthright to be rich,
mhm,
wealthy, right? So I know when it comes on to money, a lot of us in the creative space too, we kind of like, oh my God, I don't really care about money. No, money makes the world go around. It is when you have more money, you can help more people, right? And I know a lot of us do what we do because we want to help people. We want to spread that love. We want to spread the knowledge, and you need the money to fund your dream, to fund
mhm.
your destiny, right? So of course, believe, and you have to believe in yourself. So those are some things that you can use to crush the imposter syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically where I wanted to go next with it. How we can unleash our confidence and crush imposter syndrome. Every time you saw me looking down, I was literally trying to take notes. So I don't know if I have it correctly. But
Okay.
so just to recap, our conversation today was all about unleashing your confidence and crushing imposter syndrome. I'm so happy to have Tricia here. She is a plus size supermodel. She's a confidence coach, a body image coach. And what was the last one?
Well, I'm a model coach.
And a model coach. That last one always slips me, but a model coach, a pose coach, an image coach, a confidence coach. And I'm so happy to have her on this podcast, on the Activate podcast this evening, to tell us how we can crush imposter syndrome. I'm so happy that you were so vulnerable and so transparent in sharing your personal experiences, especially on your level. So, what I have so far is embrace your feminine energy.
Yes, that's
That
number
was one of the first ones that we talked about,
one.
doing those affirmations
Yes, number two.
and also believing in who you are. If you could just quickly touch on, how do you choose the affirmations?
Okay, so you want to choose affirmations that are in alignment with you, with what you want, right? So as I said, you're building up your business. You want your business to become a multi-million dollar business. You could say, I am financially abundant, right? So that is putting in your brain that I'm there, I'm abundant, I'm open to abundance, because abundance is what brings in wealth. That's what opens you up to opportunities and all of that. So you're putting your brain in a forward sense, like you're there already. So it has to be in alignment with what you want, right? And there's another one that I love to say is that I'm deserving of immense wealth, of immense love, immense joy, immense peace. If that's what you want for your life, those are some of the things that you have to set in place, and you have to say you want joy, you want peace, but you have to say to yourself, I'm deserving, I'm worthy of it, right? So those are some of the things. So the thing is, you could say a million affirmations, but they have to align with what you want. Maybe you want to get married again, yeah. Oh my God, I just got engaged and I'm loving my rock. Like these things. So this is why it's so important, again, ladies, get that coaching, because a lot of us, we're into speaking past tense. We have to speak in present and in
Or what is the
what is.
we have the habit of speaking in past tense, right? So just kind of living in your
Right.
past trauma, your past wounds,
Mhm.
your past hurt, but
Right.
also what's happening right now could be consuming. So
Yes.
if you are behind on bills, you're not making enough money, or you don't have the dream job, or you don't have the dream business yet, you're just looking at what is and what's happening right now. And what you're suggesting is that's not real. We're going
No.
to talk about our future as if it is happening now. We're going to ignore, well, not ignore, but
Right.
we're going to bypass that for a second
Mhm.
and just kind of act as if we're already where we want to be.
Yeah. So, and you add the emotion to it. So you say, I am blessed, right? You're going to add the emotion to it. Maybe it's always in your dream to go give your church like $1 million tithes. I am blessed. And you actually close your eyes and you're seeing where you're writing that check, and you're going to the pastor's office and you're actually just like giving the church that money. Like, so what you're saying, your mouthpiece and your heart and your emotions can tie together, and it just becomes like more real, and you will manifest it one day. You really will, but you have to push away the stinking thinking. You have to crush the imposter syndrome. This is why we're talking about this tonight. And you have to really believe in you. That's number 3. Believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. Maybe your parents, and sometimes they don't believe in you until they really see it, because they want to protect you,
Right.
right? So say if you're very educated, because that's what happened to me. My mom sent me to design school to be a fashion designer, and when I told my parents I was going to be a model, they were like, no. All the alarms came. They were like, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to have any health insurance. You're not going to make enough money. Like, all the alarms went off. So you, again, have to believe in yourself. If you know, if that's what you really want.
Yeah. And I just want to add one more tip to that to make it number 4. So we'll have 4 tips for tonight.
Bonus.
So I'm reading a new book called Be Seen. And
Mm,
And
like,
the author's name is Jen. I don't want to butcher it. It's Gottlieb. I feel like it's Gottlieb or Gottlieb or something. I don't want to butcher it, but Gottlieb. It's called Be Seen, and it resonated so much with me. Just the title, Be
mhm.
Seen. I
Yeah.
was in a space in my life, where I'm just like taking my personal business. I'm taking a leap of faith and pivoting into a new direction. I told you I have a new course launching on January 9th of 2024. And
Congratulations.
right now I'm in my pre-sale phase. And this book just came into my life right
Mm,
on time to remind me that you can do this. You can kick the imposter syndrome aside. But one of the exercise, each chapter ends with an exercise. And one of the exercises that I didn't finish completing yet, but it got me so excited that I automatically started living in it.
Yes.
Basically called a badass list. And what
Mm.
this list is you um, go through your life and write down all your accomplishments. It doesn't have to be major things like what we've done. So it doesn't have to be like TV and film and magazines. It could be you graduated. It could be you lost a couple pounds. It could be, relationships or whatever. But
Right.
you write down every win that you feel that you've had, you make a list of it. And
Mhm.
sometimes you may need to get help from a family member or a friend or somebody that knows you. Because you have some friends and family members that could make that list with their eyes closed. It's us. We are the ones that have a hard time making that badass list, right? So
True.
you write down all your accomplishments, however long the list is,
Mhm.
okay? But when you read the list back, you have to read it like it's not you.
Wow.
That is the trick of it,
I
right?
do
So
that exercise. That is great.
right. So let's say you look up to Michelle Obama or you look up to Oprah and you can see all their accomplishments, right?
Right.
First lady, billionaire, leadership, whatever. So just the way you would read off their accomplishments,
Mhm.
when you make your badass list, you have to read it as if it's somebody you're looking up to and it's
Mhm.
not you. I cannot wait to make my list, but I've already started. I got so excited about the idea of the list that I
Right.
didn't even get to do the list yet. But
Uh,
the idea is to write it down and put it somewhere visible. So when that imposter syndrome does flare up, because I want to just remind everyone that fear and imposter syndrome, she says they're like a passenger in your car. Make them a passenger in your car because they're not going anywhere. They're a passenger on the way to your destination. But guess what? They can't touch the radio. They can't touch the AC. They can never even think about getting in the driver's seat. Just stay over there. I know you're there, but you're going to stay over there. And
mhm.
this list will just help you anytime you're feeling low or you're not worthy. Hey, look at this list. And you are who you say you are. You're the real deal.
Yeah,
You
you're the,
are the real deal. So I
yeah.
just wanted to say
That's a great bonus tip. I like that.
I
Yeah.
know, right? I know. So I know that you are doing your confidence coaching. So tell us a little bit about that, or if you have any projects coming up that you want to share with us.
Yeah. So my exciting thing that I have offering right now is I just joined a bunch of coaches. This platform have coaches that do love coaching, entrepreneurial coaching, business coaching, confidence coaching, all of this amazing thing on one coaches on one platform. And you could find me on there on my mentor.live/Tricia Campbell. And that is, you could hire me for one-on-one coaching, and it's way cheaper than my high ticket stuff. But and then you're not locked into 30 to 90 days or a whole 4 weeks worth of coaching. You could just book me singly if you want to start out that way to see if we're a fit. That's, I think, is a good offering. And you could go on that platform too if you need help, with parenting. There's parenting coaches. There's all type of other coaches on that platform too. So I just wanted to share that with y'all too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I learned from tonight's call was that, man, I should have got coaching sooner. I should have gotten coaching sooner, but to be honest, I remember what I felt like when I was seeing ads or um, content from coaches. It seemed very gimmicky. And I also felt like it was a sign of weakness because I felt like I could do it myself.
Mhm.
I should be able to figure this out.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to spend the money to have somebody else try to figure it out for me. But hearing your story just it's just like, man, if you get it from the beginning, when you don't feel like you need it, like in the beginning, you feel like maybe I need it when I start the business, when I have everything going and I have something to offer, then I'll get a coach. But what I learned is like, wow, you need it before you think you even
Oh
need it.
yeah. So a coach, actually, a lot of women come to me also because they are empty nesters. They have lost their way to, like, they raise their kids and everybody's gone and they're alone, and they realize now that they're not really truly who they really are, who they want to be, or they're not living their dreams. So that happens to a lot. That's a big part of living years in the imposter syndrome right there, because you're living as somebody who you're not. And at the end of the tunnel, you're like, okay, how am I gonna get into my dreams? So I've coached women to help them to get into that 5 year plan, get into that maybe a 1 year plan. Maybe it's shaping up on your body, losing weight, dressing a certain way, starting that business, going back to school, and really finding who you are. And then their true confidence comes up, because again, they're living that fake confidence,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's very important to get the coaching for that also too, because again, your life is going to go around in circles, right? And you feel bothered, right? I know before I became a coach, and same thing, when I would see the ads, I'd be like, what is that?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you are dumbing down who you are. When you feel that, when you're triggered by another coach, by another person who is on another level doing what you want to do. So I always tell women, are you going to be the head writer in your story, or you're going to just sit there and be that backstage person? Are you
Mm-hmm.
going to be the star in your story? And a
Yeah.
lot of people do not know how to do that. So you need the coaching again to humbly come in the front, be seen, and do the things that you need to do. Because listen, people need your help out there. People need you. People need us. People need us. Jessica, Saltia, we see you. People need you. So whatever your genius is, you're here to share it and to help other people come up.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts that you want to leave the Girl Activate community with?
I really want to tell the Girl Activate community is it's just so good to relax, take a deep breath. I'm always into the breathing. When you feel frustrated, feel nervous, and the imposter syndrome is coming up, just relax, close your eyes, pull it in, and blow it out at least 3 to 4 times before you start your task, whatever it is gonna be. So yeah, just do some relaxing breath work, and remember those tips. Number one, get into that feminine energy. Number two is your affirmations. Remember those affirmations. And of course, number three is believe in you. And number four was
The
what?
badass list.
Get into that badass list. I'm definitely gonna get into that. That will help you to reiterate who you are in your conscious mind. And I do some manifestation work too, visualizing, and look up Neville Goddard too. He's amazing.
Yeah. Thank
Hmm.
you so much for that. I'm just going to let everybody know about some upcoming events. So, the Girl Activate Natural Hair event is back. A lot of you have been asking me when that's coming back, and I honestly wasn't going to do it. But you know what? I said, I'm going to do something different in 2024. I've been getting asked to do it every quarter, and I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to come back. I want to connect more with my ladies in person. So the first week in February 2024, save the date. Girl Activate Natural Hair event is back here in Uniondale, Long Island, New York. You ain't Long Island, by the way.
I was in Long Island the other day.
um,
Yeah, yeah. Did a photo
also,
shoot. When was that? Thursday, last week, Thursday. Yeah.
Also, we have our freebie, our free offer as my gift to you. 10 tips to communicating your personal brand online. If you go to stacyciceron.com, you'll be able to click the button to be able to download that checklist and cheat sheet. I literally put everything I know into the cheat sheet. It should be something that I charge for, but I did not. So go ahead and get that for free. And lastly, launching the Activate Your Brand online course that's going to be launching on January 9th. And I help exceptionally talented but overlooked creative professionals get the recognition they deserve by learning how to communicate your personal brand online. I personally have partnered with at least 5 major beauty brands in the last 9 years. And this is without a huge social media following. So I want to show my talented artists. I don't want you to be struggling artists anymore. I want you to come out of obscurity, come out of the shadows and into the spotlight by utilizing your personal brand. I've been looking at some of your pages and I noticed that there is room for you to use your personal brand to grow your business. And that's what my course is all going to be about in January. This week, I have an offer. It's called the First 10 Pre-Sale Offer, where I've invited 10 people to come in on this journey with me at a 50% discount. So for $97, you get in on the ground level of this course. You help in exchange for your feedback for the next 8 weeks. To help develop the course, you get to say that you get to say what actually goes in the course. You help me to develop it, and you'll have a lifetime access to the course and all the bonuses that it comes out with once we launch in January. So I'm so excited about that. If you want to be one of the first 10 that sign up, I only have 5 more spots available, and this offer expires Friday evening, November 17th. So if you're watching this on the replay, if it's past the 17th, baby, it's gone. Okay. So we have the natural hair event. We have the free social media checklist on my website, stacyciceron.com. And we have the Activate Your Brand course launching in January. But we're doing the pre-sale offer where you can get it for 50% off in exchange for your feedback. So I just wanted to let the community know about that. I want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight to the Girl Activate podcast. For the girlies that are looking to take their business to the next level, but you also want to take your life to the next level. What I'm hoping that tonight that you are finally going to crush imposter syndrome and unleash your confidence. Let us know in the chat how you were affected by this, what your takeaways were, any gems that you had from watching this live here tonight. And please feel free to share this video. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff that helps to get this channel going. We will see you next week, same time. Well, maybe not the same time, but definitely next week. Look out for another episode of the Girl Activate podcast. I'm looking to bring on some of my expert friends to talk more about how we wear many hats in the business, right? We're overwhelmed with running our business, a one-person show, and we're doing everything. I have a few people coming to talk about that, to talk about finance, how to get ready for 2024, and also our health coach that is going to be coming on to tell us how we can manage ourselves so that we can, reach our full potential. So again, I know that was a mouthful.
Great.
Thank you for tuning in. Tricia, thank you. I know you're busy, and you made time for Girl Activate, and I appreciate you for that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. Oh my God.